Good morning, Tehmina Khan is here and TKMaths is fun. In today's video, we will solve a question on complex number, which is a part of the syllabus of A-level mathematics. It is a challenging question. So let's start. There are three parts in the question. You can see in the first part, you have to bring the complex number in this form 2 plus 4i, where what is given here is this form. So what comes in your mind? How will you do that? So yes, you are right. You will basically expand the denominator, right? And I have done here so that video will be of short length and you can understand the concept as well. So after opening it by the algebraic method, a square minus 2ab plus b square, you will get this. And you know that iota square is equals to minus 1. So if this is minus 1, 4 minus 1 will be 3. So your question will be of this form, 3 minus 4i, which is written in orange. Now what did I do here? What is this called? Because we have to bring it without the denominator, so we will apply the concept of rationalizing the denominator or conjugate it. So the denominator is 3 minus 4i. So the conjugate of this will be what? 3 plus 4i. So when we will multiply and divide by this, I can remove denominator from here. Why? Because if you see, what is it reminding you? This is reminding you the form a plus b, a minus b, which is equals to a square minus b square. So now, simple multiplication and numerators I will multiply. Right? So you can see here, this 4 iota square, it will become 16 iota square. And iota square is minus 1, so it will become minus 16. So it will become plus 16. Agreed? So simple multiplication of the numerator, and then again in this case the last term is 16 iota square, which is equals to what? Minus 16, right? Because iota square is minus 1. So you will do 66 minus 16 and you will get the form we are looking for or we have to prove. After that I have done factorization and I got 2 plus 4 iota. Now the part 2 of the question is saying it is given that, now this part 2 is different. Usually it is not asked in this way, right? It was very different type of question. It is given that p is a real number, right? Such that this condition is given to you. And you notice here what is written here. Find the set of possible values of p. So first of all, you have to understand the question. Okay, what you will do. So first of all, recall this argument form, which is also called half-line form. So argument of z minus z1 equals to theta. Now what is the meaning of z and z1 in this? z1 is a fixed point and z is a locus. So when you draw the diagram or sketch it, basically what happened, this z1 point, whatever is it referring to, you mark a point here. It could be anywhere, right? And then you draw a dotted line on the right side. And this shows you z, this line is z, and theta is this angle. Now it depends, theta is plus minus. If it is minus, then it is drawn on this side, right? So let's start with this question, this part I mean. So it is very important that you recall the basic concept here, okay? So now, if I see in the question, it is given here w plus p, right? And w, the complex number, is given to you. So I can write it as what? P plus w. I'm trying to bring it into this form. So it will become p minus minus w, right? Z minus z1, just like that. Then it will be p minus, and your w will be minus 2 minus 4 iota. So this is what I'm going to do here. Okay. So I have just switched the places here. You can see p plus w I have written here. I'm talking about this point. Right, the rest is all same what is given to you in the question. And then I will bring it in the general form of argument of z minus z1. So I'm writing p minus minus w, and w is what? T plus 4 iota. So when you will multiply by minus, it will become what? Minus 2 minus 4 iota. So this is your fixed point from where you will draw the half line angle. Okay. So now in this diagram, if I see here, because x-axis is your real axis and y-axis is your imaginary axis. So the point is -2 -4 iota. Now this is something very important. Do not make mistake here. If you read the report, mistakes happen here by most of the student. So I have marked this point, and then it is this dotted line. You can see this is what is the procedure we do it. Now it is saying greater than pi by 4. Pi by 4 is basically what? 45 degree, right? And 3 pi by 4 is what? 135 degree. So at this point, I have drawn a line which is this. It is my point P will be on this line or on this line. We will see later this thing in between somewhere. So I have drawn pi by 4. Now what is the very important thing here? The very important thing is here is what is this point and what is this point. That you have to understand, because question is saying P is a real number. Now real numbers are only on the x-axis, right? Because y-axis is imaginary number. So if question is saying P is on the real number, is a real number, it means it is on the x-axis. It is this point. One of the point is this. How you will do this? Now here I would help you to recall one basic concept again, and that is whenever you draw a line of 45 degree, right, that line is always y equals to x, right? You can recall this because at 45 degree, 45 will be here. So whatever is the value of x, same will be the value of y. Whatever is the value of x, same will be the value of y. So this line is y equals to x. And on the line of y equals to x and y coordinates are always same. So now come back to the question. If you see here, from this point to this distance is 2. Agreed? This distance is 2. We can see from here. It means when it will pass through the y-axis, this distance will always also be 2. Right? So if point is 4 here, -4, then this point will be -2. Right? Similarly, this point will be +2. Why? Because I will go further 2 unit up, 2 unit here. The distance is same everywhere on the line y equals to x. So I got this point, it is 2. Now let me draw 3 pi by 4. So from here only, I will draw a line like this, right? And this angle will be 3 pi by 4. So let's see the next diagram here. Okay, here I have just marked the point +2 and -2, which I was explaining to you. So now, here is the okay. So now if you see this line, this one, let me increase the size here. So this is your 3 pi by 4, which is 135. I hope you understand how. So this is 3 pi by 4. So this line, question is saying here, your angle is less than this and greater than this. So what is the region? The region is basically this whole thing. So within this region, on the x-axis, the points are here and here. Now the question is, how did I get this -6? 2 to I explained to you. So let's see this diagram here. I know that 135 is somewhere here like this, right? But what is this? Because 45 will also be here, 135 plus 45 is 180. It means this will make what? Absolutely symmetry. So if I see from this center point, this was 4 unit on the right. So the line will pass through 4 unit on the left. So -2 and go further 4 unit back, it will be what? -6. This is how I figured out that this point will be -6 and this point will be 2. So I got the value of P 2 and -6. Right? So that was the part 2. Now part 3. The complex conjugate W conjugate is represented by S and T. So 2 plus 4i is represented by S, and the conjugate, what will be the conjugate of 2 plus 4i? Do you know that? Repeat it in your mind. I can't hear you. Okay. So yes, you are right. It is 2 minus 4i, and I will call it what? T. Now the question is saying there is a circle which is passing through the point S, T and O, or O is the origin. And you have to give the equation of the circle in this form. Z minus A equals to K. Now if you see, this form is reminding you what? It is reminding you the locus, one of the locus form in complex, right? Where we say Z minus Z1 equals to R. This gives you radius, this gives you center of the circle. So basically, if you try to make connection here, you have to write your equation of the circle in this form. Now let's see how we will get it. What is the value of A and K and all this, okay? So now, first part of the question is, this part of the question is saying the circle is passing through S, T and O. So let me mark these points first. So I have marked the points here for you. I have not completed the circle. So this is origin. S is basically 2, 4, which I got from here, right? X coordinate and real and imaginary. Similarly, from here I got what? 2, minus 4, which I have marked here. So I have marked 3 points, and after that I will draw a circle which will pass through these 3 points. Okay? Here is a circle I have drawn for you. Now this blue point is basically representing the center of the circle which I have drawn here, this one. Now if you recall here, this form which was given to in the question, so K is the radius. So you can see from here the radius will be basically length from here till here. Agreed? So let's see now what we will do. So circle is drawn, but we have to find that equation. So let's write down the equation of the circle. Sorry, I have written it here. So I'm calling the center of the circle as C, D. Okay, this you can give any letter, the name, whatever you like. So now this is the equation of the circle we know. Agreed? Where CD is the center of the circle and R is the radius. So what will I do next? Any idea? Can you think? Yes, you are right. Because you know 2 points on the what it is called circle. Point 2 is 2, minus 4 and point S is 2, 4. So any point you can substitute. Substitute where? Let me write here. I will delete that later. So you can substitute 2, 4 and 2, minus 4 on the circle. Any one you like here. Right? Why did I say any one? At the moment, if I see there are 3 unknowns, C, D, R, and if I substitute one unknown, I can't solve it. So I need to substitute 3 things. So what comes in your mind? What is the problem here? Yes, those who can understand, we have noticed very important thing here. The center of the circle is on the x-axis. And on the x-axis, what is 0? On the x-axis, y is 0. So I can substitute here what? I can substitute y 0 and I can substitute this point D also 0. Right? D is my y coordinate. So I will substitute D 0. Okay. So D is equals to 0 because it is on the x-axis, and R will be equals to this x coordinate. Yes or no? Because from here till here it is, let me bring it down so that you can see clearly what I am drawing. So from here till here, this is your radius, and radius is equals to the x coordinate. So R equals to C. Agreed? So that's why in this equation of this circle, in place of in place of R, I have written C, and in place of D, I have written 0. Right? So let me just delete this. So now I have this equation x minus c square. Within this equation, now in place of x and y, I can write any point. So I am putting the point 2, 4. Okay, to solve it basically. You want to substitute 2, minus 4, you can do that. So I'm substituting the point. After substituting, it's simple algebra. Expand the brackets, solve it, and you get c equals to 5. Once you get c equals to 5, it means this is your equation of the circle. But we have to write in that form, right? So in this equation, your C is 5, D is 0, and radius is 5. So now this thing can be written as x minus 5 equals to 5. Because what was the question saying? X minus A equals to K. So my K value and A value is same. It is 5. And how do we know that? I just explained to you here that the radius of the circle, this one, and the center of the circle's x value is same. So this is how you will get this form. So thank you very much for watching. I